organization put on by the Kauffman Foundation, and we gather weekly, and it's based on the foundation that every week people gather over 1 million cups to talk about their business ideas. So every week we meet here at Idea Fab Labs, and people give a 6-minute presentation to talk about their business. We're so excited that you guys can join us today. We of course can't do this without any of our sponsors. So thank you to Chico Start, 6 Degrees Coffee,
Yeah!
Idea Fab Labs, and PCAC TV.
Yeah!
Sponsors. And of course we also can't do this without our organizers. And with that, I am so excited to introduce you guys to my friend Caitlin, and she's putting on a presentation about Plur Tech, and it is basically a way for festival goers to connect with each other at a festival without a cell phone. So I will let her do her thing. Woo.
Hi, how are you guys all doing today?
Good.
Alright, so I actually want to start today off with doing a little activity. If you guys can partner up with a friend that's nearby. Alright, does anyone have a partner? Alright, so you're going to turn towards your partner, hopefully say hello if you don't know them. But besides that, you're going to start off like this. You're going to do a peace sign. You have to touch a peace, a heart for love, love. Touch your fingertips, unity. And then respect, you're going to close your hand. And then you're going to give your bracelet to them, and they're going to give you their bracelet. Alright, so you just made that awesome connection. I can already hear it, got you guys kind of excited, and you guys already are talking with each other. This is the same thing that happens at these events. So my name is Caitlin, and I'm the CEO and founder of Plur Tech, and I'm here to talk to you guys about ending these lost connections so people can experience this and reconnect with those people that they just met. So currently right now in the US, 32 million people just did what you guys just did by trading these candy bracelets. But the only problem is, as you can see, there's over 700,000 people at these events at one time. This means that there's no phone service. You know, you're in clothing that doesn't have pockets in it, so you don't have your phone on you at all anyways. So you do this transaction of candy to never talk to them again. So as I was mentioning, the problem is after you trade the candy, you have no way to see who you had just met. So our solution is adding an RFID equipped charm to these bracelets that the festival goer can scan in at the end of the night and not only see who they just met, a roadmap of where their bracelet's been, but how many connections they've made all together. And as you can see at the bottom, ravers will wear anywhere from 10 to 20 of these bracelets at one time. So after they do these charms, the next step when we get to market is to offer a bracelet that you do not trade. We want to call this electric candy, and we want to have some awesome features on it, such as a panic button that will alert the community to know that you need help if any kind of medical issue would arise or you lose your friends. And it also would have a screen on it to be able to see who's playing at what time, at what stage, and help you better migrate around the festival. So as I was saying, 32 million people in the US alone went to one of these events, and the world market, it just went into 16 new countries, which have twice as many ravers in countries such as China right now than the US does. It is growing at 14% per year at the annual growth rate, and definitely going into a lot of markets right now. It's really exciting. Our go-to-market plan to go against the competition right now is taking advantage of being first to market. Currently, there's no other social media platform that is linking hardware with the actual interactions that you're doing online. This is called software acoupling, and we want to take advantage of this by handing out the first 25,000 charms for free at these events and having users start trading them and building that database up, and that will be our intellectual capital. Why I say that will be our intellectual capital is because there's a slow migration rate when you go from one social media platform to another because of our ego. Who wants to start over with 0 friends? None of us. So, besides that, 96% of our users have an iPhone. That tells us that, sorry Android users, but you know, they kind of like the higher price point name brand items. So by being first to market and capturing our brand as Plur Tech as the #1 technology to trade at these events, when competitors come into the market, they're going to associate that with being the off-brand charm that is available at these events. So, some of the milestones we have completed is we've already filed our LLC, we've designed and 3D printed our prototype, we have some awesome mentors, not only from Chico Start, but we also have the head of innovation at IBM, and his name's Ken, and he's linked us with a manufacturer called Zebra for the actual RFID chips. We are the #1 supplier of all the RFID chips that are currently in credit cards. And I also got into the semifinals of South by Southwest Student Startup Madness, which was really exciting. Chico State's never got into the top like 64 or 32, any of those. I went on to the Draper Swimming Competition on the East Coast and a couple other events like that as well. Oh, and we also do have a patent as well. So these are just some of our team members. We actually have a much larger team than you can see here. Well, we have a guy named Abdullah who is an engineer and he's studying mechanical and electrical engineering. So he's helping us make the actual prototypes. We have the pen right here and he does back-end mobile development. And myself, I just graduated from Chico State and I'm an entrepreneur major. I started a nonprofit when I was 18. I'm currently 23, and I definitely think that I have like some of the skills that it would take to make this thing happen. Alright, so now down into the financials, which is kind of the exciting part. So since our market is so big, and our margins are quite large, with almost a 900% margin on each one of our products. So 5 of these bracelets, the charms that will go on them, sell for $12.98 and they cost us 26 cents a piece, so $1.30 in total. And then the electric candy bracelet that you do not trade would retail for $69.98 and cost us $6 to manufacture, which is pretty exciting because just 1% adoption rate in the US, this makes our profits right around 24 million. And if you go into the world market, which is twice as big, then overall our 5-year projections are at $1.1 billion. And yeah, so that's all, and I would love to answer any questions you guys have.
What I'm wondering specifically is around the financial metrics that you were talking about, specific to getting certain projections around 24 million, et cetera, that you're talking about there. You said that its adoption rate is only at 1% in the U.S. market, and you're projecting 24 million. So I'm wondering, over 12 months, over 36 months, over, that's my question.
Oh yeah, of course, sorry about that. So that is over a 12-month projection.
What about security? Like, what if somebody that you don't want tries to capture your information? How do you ensure that only the people that you connect with are the people that get your information?
Yeah, definitely. So on the actual candy bracelets right here themselves, those charms would only show like your social media profile, but we wanted our users to have a little bit of more flexibility. Currently right now Facebook, I don't know if you guys know this, but it won't allow people to have like kind of like fake names or Reddit names or Snapchat names. So we want people to kind of be able to hide their persona outside of like their work or everyday self. So a lot of times when ravers go to these events, they have a different personality that they want to display there. So it would allow the user then, when they scan it in, to see kind of that made-up persona of the user. The electric candy one that you do not trade, you would actually pick up to 10 friends that you want to share your location with. Just like the iPhone share my location, and you can take them off at any time. Otherwise, no one would have access to that.
Can you explain the technology a little bit more? So from beginning to end, so it seems like you're going to have an online, there'll be an online platform, and then the RFID chips are and the bracelets, there's also candy on the bracelet. I need a better visual of how this whole thing works.
Yeah, of course. So you would have charms that are on these bracelets right here, and these ones you would keep trading just like we did in the beginning. And so when you trade
And the RFID chip is inside of the bracelet.
it dangles, it kind of like dangles down.
Oh, okay.
Just like a jewelry charm with, or like a necklace that's about like this big, and yeah, made out of metal. And then you would just scan that in on your phone, and then it would do all those features. The electric candy one that you do not trade, the electric version of this, yeah. And here's like kind of like the prototype, but it will have a screen on it and other features. This one will actually have an RFID reader inside of it. So any candy bracelet that sits on your arm for like 10 seconds, these ones, it would read it automatically. So then when you go home, you don't have to scan in these all individually that you got that night. You could just link this one to your phone to upload everything that you had done that night.
Okay. So you start out at the festival and you buy like 10 or 20 or however many you want to give away. And then the ones you get, you keep separate from the ones you're giving away. I can see accidentally giving away one from somebody that I got that I wanted to keep track of.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So the nice thing about like these bracelets is like at a 3-day event, you kind of don't want to give away like the one that you just got because they'll all be different. Because what if you see that person like later on that night? It's kind of like, oh, we already made this connection. And so you kind of keep them, and then some people even wait till the next festival before they get rid of them just because of that. But then that's why I want to eventually go to this as being the reader instead of just the phone, because then it doesn't matter how many times you trade these ones throughout the night, all the information will already be stored. So it eliminates that problem.
How do you plan on marketing this once you've got your beta testing done and you've got a few out in the market? What's the marketing plan?
Yeah, so marketing is pretty easy for our company because of our users. Our users are like social media gurus. They post on social media 10 times more than the average person. So during EDC, which was a festival that I had pictured in there, there's actually more social media posts during that one event than there are during the Super Bowl, just to put it in perspective. And there was almost as many as the World Cup game that just occurred. So my idea is to give out the first 25,000 of the charms for free that people can just attach to their candy bracelets that they brought that night. They'll get it for free once they post on social media. And then after that, I have a feeling it will take off. And beyond that, another thing is when you get one of these bracelets, these are pretty simple because they're only, I guess I'll say one-dimensional. Because some people make like 3D cups and other more complex candy. And you don't really want to trade your one-dimensional candy for a three-dimensional candy. So once we have this technology on there and you're paying to be a part of that experience, you're kind of not going to want to trade with somebody else who doesn't have that technology that you're paying to be a part of. And if you look at the cost though too, like that's $12.98 for 5. This is very, very low cost. The average festival ticket begins at $400.
Just a quick follow-up to that.
Yes.
So let's say you give out your 25,000 pieces. I think that the caveat, which you've done really well, is educate people on how it works and what these things actually are. Because it's going to take a little while for that to happen. You got to plan if those 25,000 don't take off and end up in the trash. The next thing that you want to do is that within your sphere of command. Most common denominator, like, but if that doesn't work,
If that doesn't work, then I would just keep going on social media. I would say anywhere from 10 to 20 people inquiring about this product since I first posted it online. I had a party here in Chico with 1,200 people in the backyard, and that night we had 30,000 people actually go to our site. So we definitely have the traction. I don't see it so much going in the trash necessarily because they're already doing this. It's not something new. Like when ravers hear the word Plur Tech, they already know what it means because our company literally stands for peace, love, unity, and respect. So when they hear that, it just clicks. They're like, oh, okay, I want one.
I won't.
I have a question. So you're selling it to the end user, right?
The
The just general public that go to concerts. I'd be a bit concerned about the margin. I think, as you said, that they're already paying $400 for a ticket, and I don't want to spend any more if I'm already paying $400. But do you think it might be better, or different perspective, to go after the promoters? Because those guys are the ones really spending the big money. And if you could do it for $260 rather than level 68, then they would just do it for free and pick up the user's information. Is that something that you think of?
I have considered that. I more thought about bringing in the different promoters like for the electric candy that you do not trade, because right now in their fees when you buy that $400 ticket, they actually charge the rave goers $14 for their ticket. I guess it kind of looks like this, but it's like an NFC or a QR code that they scan in by these machines going by. So this would be the reusable version of that. So I could, eliminate that $14 cost every time I go to a festival. And
I was talking about the promoters, as in people promoting Taylor Swift concerts where there's 80,000 people that are giving away to everybody for free. I mean, the last one they did, the bracelets lit up, so we give them bracelets as they came through. But, maybe that's another avenue.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be totally willing to talk to different people that are in that sector and see what kind of ideas that they had. I originally just thought of it this way because our users, they spend their most money at Starbucks and at Nike. So they're into those high price, low cost luxury goods. I was at EDC last year and they had chicken teriyaki bowls, which has rice, chicken, and vegetables. They actually ran out of chicken and vegetables and still just sold the bowl of rice for $14. So they have a lot of money. They save all their money the whole year just for these events to be a part of them.
Do you have any apps that are like social media apps that integrate with this, or have you thought about integrating this with the social media app so that people could make connections and then like chat?
Yeah, of course. That's actually what I want the end goal to be. I want this to kind of be a new social media platform. For Facebook, for example, you have a 5,000 friend limit. When you're a social media guru, you reached that limit like a long time ago. So they don't really use Facebook anymore. Instagram is just photos. So they lose that experience of being able to post actual like word statuses about what's happening and what they're attending. So I definitely want it to be a community platform that's built around those real life connections.
So, maybe I'm wrong, but I think what he was kind of asking was more about the integration with current social media platforms. Like, so how if you go look for an apartment, there's integration with Facebook and Twitter and other. Is that kind of what you were asking?
Is there a way to take your platform and tie it in with existing stuff, or are you developing something that is similar to what's already out there?
Yeah, so right now we are currently developing a social media platform that is kind of like the bare bones of a Facebook or an Instagram, but we would be totally willing to talk to those bigger platforms such as Snapchat or Instagram about migrating together. Currently, we just haven't had that opportunity quite yet, so that's why we kind of were building our own, but yeah.
So what does the user interface look like for the social media platform?
So right now, it is kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever had a MySpace account. It's kind of giving the user back that a little bit of freedom. So you used to be able to just like copy and paste, change your background, have songs play. You could have your name do whatever you want. Non-square images, your cover photo didn't get cut off in half. So just putting that power back into the user's hands, we think is very, very important. Not only for like just the trends that are going on right now, but I think it'd be good.
So what kind of things will you be able to do? I mean, obviously post pictures, post comments. How will you be able to see the people you met? What does that look like?
Yeah, of course. So you'll be able to see the people that you met by actually viewing a giant electric tree. So imagine a tree like cut in half. So up here is like the branches, which have like stars, and then down here is the roots like going into the ground, like all electric. Or if you've ever seen the movie like Lucy, it has an electronic tree in there as well. So if you touch at the top of the tree, you can like zoom in and you can see all those stars. Every star is a bracelet. So if you click that star, it would show you all the interactions that that one bracelet's had. But if you clicked at the bottom of the tree where the roots are, those are the bracelets that you made yourself and brought to the events. So kind of like these are your seeds that are planting the trees, and then they build all those connections. Kind of like Ancestry.com, but instead it's reverse. Like you're planting the seeds and growing your family tree instead of finding the people that were at the bottom.
What about privacy features like turning off your interactions? Like say you want to, people, maybe they can see you, but you don't want the other people seeing who you've connected with.
Who you connected with? Yeah, of course. So we want to make it where then it would have a private, photo. So that way they would still see that interaction, but it would just say like John Doe or whatever name that's right there.
I have a question about the charms and the bracelet. So if it's NFC powered, is there any chance that people could make their own charms and effectively bypass buying the products?
Yeah, so we actually have been working with IBM to make that where when they scan it in, there is security on our back end that will say that that charm was counterfeit. So it won't allow them to upload it onto our platform and stop people from paying it.
So I don't want to be the dark person, but I'm not. So I'm in PR, so I totally kind of get to where I think of the things before they happen. Is there any way that you thought, and you might have a great answer for this, is your product being used in a nefarious way, like child trafficking or any of that stuff? Because that can be used in a bad way. Have you thought about any of those consequences?
Yes, I have. Right now, currently at like stores like Michael and Joann's, they actually have candy making kits that don't have the charms. So in one way, I could see, a predator, I guess, like going to Michael's and making these bracelets and like, trying to lure in kids. But I actually think it will be something that kids will actually adopt themselves to do, with people that are their own age. So of course, I would probably make some educational videos that says like, don't trade with strangers. Like, don't take candy from strangers, I guess.
I guess I could kind of tap onto that is maybe considering, you did mention that you have the safety feature, right? So people will be able to press a button. And during our conversation, we talked about it being lit specifically, like a red color, so people know that you're in danger if you're wearing them. Maybe potentially taking that technology and finding a way to trigger something, like instead of just like one could be like I need help from a friend, two like have it connecting to maybe like a local emergency service or something like that. So just the way to take the technology maybe a step further, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I should mention that on the electric candy version that you do not trade, the lights on the outside of it actually work by the sound vibration. So like that Taylor Swift concert that he was talking about earlier where they had the lights. But the difference at Taylor Swift compared to what we're trying to do is Taylor Swift had like 6 or 7 different colors out in the crowd. We want everyone to have the exact same color with red purposely for emergencies. So if everyone in the crowd's green but you see 2 red bracelets, that means that they need help or their friend needs help. So it visually alerts the whole crowd to come together to not only help that person find their friend, but maybe help them as well. So I started interviewing people, and I had not thought about this in the beginning, but especially with girls in sexual assault cases, they didn't want a guy to know that they were the one that pushed the button. So if you held it down for, let's say like 3 seconds instead of just 1, if I was the girl that pushed that button and there was a guy, coming on, then my bracelet would actually say that my friend pushed it. Because then it will alert the whole community that, hey, that girl needs help still, for her friend. But that guy would think that it was not me to like make him more angry, if that makes sense. knowing that I pushed the button on him.
So we've got other presentations here. I really like the product. I think we can definitely on something. But a lot of us are like cyclists or runners, and we have different sports that we do there outdoors. And a lot of times we don't have someone to go with when we're alone. We might have our phone with us, but if we get in a wreck, we're on the side of the road, and our phone is rusted and off. It would be a great product for us to be able to just press a button and figure out a way to get help. And a lot of us are on other apps like Strava or something else that's tracking where we're going. I don't know. Kind of touched on that a little bit. But is that something where when you're marketing, you're going to market it out lateral as well?
Yeah, I can see this going into a number of sectors, with sports being one of them, and survival camping kind of tools. So this is kind of like a life alert, but for all generations, from millennials to baby boomers, and it's something that is fashionable. And another question you might have after that then is, well, why don't they just buy an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or all the other different options that are out there? They're a lot higher price point. They also have to have phone service to work. That's our main advantage, is we're working on technology where no matter what, it will find the service for you.
Are you going to be able to use Apple branding to say like it only works with like Apple devices?
That I am not too sure on yet. I know our app right now, that has been one of our main challenges, is Apple actually had it blocked to be able to scan in NFC or RFID. They have a new update coming out next month, but no one was really sure like what the features were going to be around that. But we did be able to solve that to be able to scan that in. So it would be an Apple app only, and then the Android. But I would love to work with Apple on something like that.
Not if, but when we realize these sales goals and annual performance, number one, we have a couple questions. Raw materials ready? Do we have labor ready? And will they be purchased and assembled in the United States? Three whole questions, sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I actually have been talking to a manufacturer out of Texas. They're right by Dallas. And we're just kind of getting started right there on that. They can handle any order size from 100 to 1 million of these at once, and they can have it done within 3 weeks. The other thing that's also going to take 3 weeks on that is actually the regulations on tech. If you have any kind of Bluetooth software or anything like that inside the hardware itself, it has to go through special lab testing before it can go to market. And the materials, though, definitely are ready. And I originally had planned on having it assembled outside of the U.S., but then shipped, from here, which would also supply jobs. And I would be comfortable when seeing, it manufactured and assembled here in the U.S. as well.
Work without having phone service necessarily for like that emergency alert.
Yeah, of course. Do you have more of that one? Sorry.
No, that's good. I just wondered how that worked. Is that, do you have to be near other people that have the same service?
Yeah, so I haven't been able to quite solve the problem as for cyclists that are out,
In the middle of nowhere.
and out in the middle of nowhere. But at these events, by having that RFID chip inside of there, we can actually provide just small antennas ourselves that are placed throughout the festival, and then that would allow everyone in that bandwidth to be covered on our platform. We also thought about kind of having like little kiosks like at Kohl's when you scan something, want to buy something, keep it going, where you could actually register your name and put that you checked in there as well. This is another safety feature with that.
Okay. All right, thank you, Caitlin, for your presentation. Thank you guys all for joining us today. And thank you again to all of our sponsors, Idea Fab Labs, 6 Degrees Coffee, Chico Star, UCAC TV, and again to all of our wonderful organizers.